Hey, what's up, guys? Jacob Barnhill here with the Barnhill Team at eXp Realty. If you guys know this or don't know this already, not every agent is created equal, and we have a system here with our team that allows you to get up to 18% more that we're certified in than the traditional methods of real estate by traditional agents. So there's a couple different things that go into play. There's actually a lot of different things. I'm going to go over one of those things that help us today, and I'm going to continue to do a series and provide some tips and do something a little bit different than I've done in the past, and really talk about how we're able to do this. So probably be prudent to back up one step and actually tell you guys why we started this. So my wife and I started real estate so that we could flip homes. And that system that we've actually certified, refined, tested, broken, redefined, documented, and we follow has been built because we always wanted to make the most profit when we did our flips. So we were licensed agents doing flips. We helped people buy and sell homes, and we started to refine that process on the flips that we were doing. And we of course, started forwarding that same system over to our clients. So one of the things that we like to do is try to be preemptive as possible in the process. There's things like, you could get commissions can save you money. So if you get a discount on commissions, there's other fees that might go in there. There's upgrades that you may need to do, or ones that a good agent might tell you not to do. These are ways that you can save money as well, right? Sometimes they're hard to quantify. There's also pricing the property correctly so that it doesn't go stale, and you got to do price reductions, right? That could lose money. It's very easy for someone to come in and just throw a listing price out there and say, hey, I could list it for this to win the listing over the agent that's actually done the work who could sell the listing. And of course, that would be enticing. So you really got to look in the pudding of like the proof. What is it that this agency is actually able to do? And why is that? Why does that work? So I'm going to go into a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of different things that that can come into play when we're talking about your bottom line, more than just the price that you listed at, more than the commissions that you're having to pay, more than a lot of other things. So one of the things that I'm going to talk about today is a pre-inspection. So should you get a pre-inspection on your home? All right. So let's break this down. If a lot of times people might look at this, and this could vary based on price, square foot for the price of the home. And if they have to go in a crawl space, so they'll kind of upcharge for different things like that. So it can vary, but it'll be at least a few $100s. I hear agents all the time that will say, I use a different home inspector for first-time home buyers, so it's more thorough. And I use a different home inspector for my investors because they know what they're looking at, and, different things like that. And that's okay if they want to run their business that way. We use the same home inspector, and he is extremely thorough. A lot of times where we see 20, 30 line items, we're seeing at least 40, 50, 60 even line items on some of the most homes that are hurting, and they really have a lot of stuff to do. So our home inspectors are very, very thorough. So there's some things that you should know if we're going to get this pre-inspection, right? But there's also some costs to this, not just financially, a few $100s to get one. But we also want to, what would you rather have if we're going to get a home inspection, right? There's obviously some things that one of the documents that you have to fill out when you list for sale, especially if you've lived in the home, is a property disclosure. So what is it that issues or things that you've fixed? How old's the roof? Have you ever had any septic problems, permit issues, whatever? You have to disclose whether you know or you don't know, or there was or there wasn't. And if there was, what was it? And you have to define that. So it's a property disclosure. Everybody that sells a property, most people have to fill one out. So think about this. If you get a pre-inspection, you're probably going to learn some things about your home that you didn't know before that now you'll have to disclose on the property disclosure. Now, not everything has to go on the property disclosure. One very common thing that we see all the time is the covers on the electrical conduit junction boxes. It's just where a bunch of wires go through pipes, electric pipes where they can run the wires so they're out of the way, and they meet together in this little place. And sometimes that lid is gone and there's exposed wires that are sitting there. There's usually nothing around that could cause a fire. It's a very common thing, and wouldn't necessarily need to be something that's not causing a problem, that would need to be disclosed on a property disclosure, or something that that we see a lot is like the vents in the bathrooms. When you turn on your vent fan, a lot of times they're either not installed or they fell and they're just sitting in the attic. So all of that stinky hot air or moisture that you're trying to vent out of the bathroom just goes right into your attic, right? Rather than out of those vent boots that you see on your roof. So that's very common as well. Easy fixes, you may not get them done. I mean, they're so common. Sometimes buyers won't even ask to get that kind of stuff done. But those are things, examples. You might have a long list of things from a pre-inspection, right? And you wouldn't have to disclose everything on there, but there's probably some things that you might have to. So that's one thing to consider, okay? And you might be telling, Jake, my house is in good shape. It's newer. I've lived here for 30 years and it's in great shape. I'm not worried about it at all. Those are usually, let me tell you, those are usually the ones that have something. If it's been a while since you've been in your crawl space, or you're not a licensed electrician or plumber, just familiar with what things will look like, it's a little disturbing sometimes when the buyer is telling us, which is my next point, is going to be telling us what's going on with their inspector. So what would you rather have? Would you rather have a little bit of peace of mind, spend a few $100s up front? Then we could kind of decide, they might come and ask for some of these small things. And it really just depends on the buyer's needs. And a lot of times we'll negotiate a lot of stuff away. We try to be preemptive in before we even get to the inspections. We'll just let agents know, hey, just remind your clients, we've prepped ours, usually there's, any safety, health, or major items, functions of the home. Major functions meaning like the roof, the foundation, the plumbing, the electric system, all that stuff. So we try to prep agents to have that conversation who may not have had that conversation with their buyer. And then their buyer just feels like, I could just pick anything. There's a couple pieces of carpet that don't look perfect, or something like that. And that could be upsetting sometimes for a seller to have to go through a 50 item request, that the buyers have made, first time home buyer, and they want to be real picky about that kind of stuff. So a pre-inspection, it could be a peace of mind thing that you may want to consider doing, right? When I present this as a peace of mind, a lot of sellers do consider it. It's a few $100s. We're already usually fixing a few things, right? Before we go on the market. And also consider this. If we have other things at play that we're trying to negotiate in the deal, right? And we didn't know certain things. We've had foundation issues we didn't know about in the $20,000 range, right? And it was hard to see from the outside. Usually I can pick up real big issues just from looking around the house before we go on the market. But consider you being able to preemptively have a strategy before you're going on the market. Not that we're trying to hide anything, of course, but we are preemptively thinking of a strategy before we go on the market. What is it that we want to do? How do we want to do it? And knowing what is there, okay? Because even if we had to put it on the property disclosure, a couple extra things that now we know, we're still going to know when the buyer tells us when they go through their inspections, and may have to fix some of that stuff if it's necessary enough. So I always like doing pre-inspections on every single home. We have a phenomenal inspection team that is extremely thorough for a couple different reasons. And I recommend them very highly. Pre-inspections, not that I'm trying to turn people into flip consumers or clients that are going to flip their own home or something like that. But the system still applies, just being preemptive, getting our contractor might be able to tell us one thing when we're doing a flip, but the pre-inspection is going to tell us some different things, right? And there's things that you want to consider with all of that too. With, is there going to be loan types that are going to be at play? There's like FHA. That's the majority of buyers. They have FHA loans in the marketplace, and they have a lot of red tape. So do VA loans. And it's well over 50% of the buyers just with those two loans alone. And if you have little things that you would have found out in the home inspection, a pre-inspection on your home before you sell it, this could really be a benefit to make sure that we're being preemptive and we're not running into issues. So I recommend them. Pre-inspections are very, very useful. It gives you that strategy. So what do you think? Drop some comments in the comment section below, or go check out our website. You guys can go see how we sell homes, and come tune back in, subscribe the YouTube channel if you guys want to hear more tips and we go really deep on some of our ways that we're able to help you guys get more money, save time, and have some strategy. So stay savvy, homeowners out there. I appreciate you. Tune in next time. This is Jacob Barnhill, EXP. Peace out.